Hi everyone, my name is Marty.
My name is Mark.
All right, good to see you guys. We're here to talk to you a little bit about cover to cover. So I'm the guy who started the campaign, and just a little bit of background. I started in 2010 trying to read the Bible and have not succeeded so far. And the two issues that I have encountered were basically accountability and accessibility. So between those two things, we hope cover to cover will address. On the accountability front, everyone will kind of start on a cohort. And for that, you'll not only buy into the program, but you'll have a group of people. And for me, I think that would help a lot since I fell off the bandwagon, since I was accountable only to myself, and also there was no cost to me. So I felt like, if I skip, it doesn't really matter. So I think accountability will address in that sense. And then accessibility for me was really around the fact that when I was reading, I had a lot of questions. So even though the words were accessible to me on the page, the knowledge was not. And for me, like having somebody around to help answer questions and to give me more information that I would otherwise take a lot of time to find on my own would be tremendously helpful in making the content of the Bible more accessible. And for that end, like the whole point of this program is not only the accountability, obviously people can buy in, but the accessibility comes in the form of a guide. And that's what Mark's here to do.
Hey, everybody.
So you get to meet your guide. Mark's going to be with you through the entire program. I should say us, since I'm going to be a student in the program. And so I want to spend a little bit of time to talk about Mark. So Mark, like, how would you? A couple of questions, just three. How did you find your faith?
So that's a good question. So I grew up in a very, very conservative, non-denominational church. Bible study every week, church every Sunday. I learned a lot about the Bible, but I never really had the opportunity to discover for myself what it was saying. It was always something that was taught to me by somebody else, and it wasn't until... So eventually, after being in this church, about in high school, I became an atheist, and I really doubted the faith because it just didn't make a lot of sense to me the way it was presented. And I didn't really understand the Bible or what it was saying. I only had one perspective offered to me, but eventually I rediscovered my faith for myself, and it came not through other people explaining it to me. It came through my own independent research, my own quest for understanding, and I came to rediscover my Christian faith and have a personal faith for the first time. And I think it's important for people to be able to look at the Bible objectively, without having biases offered to them in their quest to understand what the Scripture is saying.
And I appreciate that information, and I think through that, I guess, as part of your continued quest to understand it, you started a graduate program at a seminary. So what made you decide to go on that path?
So that's right. So I'm in my first semester of theology school at Boston University. I decided to do this because I felt that I wanted to understand more of what the Bible said and more of what the Christian tradition has taught over the past over 2,000 years. And for me personally, first off, it's my own personal desire to know and to learn for my own personal faith and my own benefit, but I also want to help other people to understand the faith who may have had doubts in the same ways that I have. And Boston University is a little more of a liberal university, but I wanted to have a different perspective. I mean, I think getting perspectives from all different sides is important. Not that you would necessarily have to value one over the other, but being able to look at it objectively without having either a conservative or a liberal bias, because either way, you're not really looking at what the text is saying because you're reading into it what you want it to say.
So I think that really ties into, I think, the big question that a lot of prospective students might have is that the guide is kind of there to provide accessibility and information and perspectives, and people have expressed concern that your personal biases will influence their learning and their progression through cover to cover. So how would you respond to that?
So I would respond to that by saying that in my experience, I've had the privilege of being a part of a lot of different Christian communities, from very, very conservative ones to very, very liberal ones. And I find myself, I guess I would consider myself somewhat of a moderate, but I understand all perspectives, and I think every perspective offers a unique and valuable interpretation. Not saying that they're all equal or that everyone's right, because I don't think that's true. It can't be true, but I think I've made a practice of my life personally of weighing different perspectives and trying to find the truth in each of them. And I think a lot of people just really want to be heard, whether they're conservative or liberal. They want their perspective to be heard, and I think that if we can all hear each other's perspectives, we can tear down a lot of walls and boundaries that society has put up as far as like conservative theology or liberal theology. I think if we really get to know each other and hear each other out, we'll find that we're a lot less different than we believe that we are.
So you'll do your best to represent different perspectives objectively?
Absolutely.
And so I hope that's, that's personally my own hope. So thank you for offering that. And it's my hope that also that more people will join us on this journey to go through the Bible and get our own perspectives and understanding of what it means, both, to ourselves and also to our society. So hopefully we'll see you guys in 2017. And thank you for watching and supporting the campaign. All right.
Thanks.